Let's talk about what a notary public is and what exactly it is that they do. I get questions all the time. I get a phone call, Rufus, I need to get this document notarized. I've never used a notary before. I have no idea how it works. What exactly is it that you do? How can you help? In layman terms, a notary public is somebody who verifies identity. If you have a form, for example, an insurance form, that insurance company is going to want to make sure that the proper person who that policy is under is filling out the claim form. It's going to be their signature on the form. So the way to do that is through the use of a notary public. A notary public will act as an agent on the insurance company's behalf to make sure that you are who you say you are and your signature is going to be on that form correctly. Other documents that might require a notary public is power of attorney forms, insurance forms, a child travel consent form. They're basically just there to verify identity. If you're looking for legal advice or advice on how to fill out a form, or legal advice as if this form should be used or not, don't go to a notary public for that. They're not going to be able to help you. There's experienced notaries out there who know a lot about different forms and everything. And they'll, as far as the form goes, they can tell you exactly where to sign and date and stuff like that. But as far as the contents on the form itself, a notary can't help you. In California, for a notarization to be official and legal, there's actually a small paragraph that needs to be put on the actual paper that is being notarized. And that paragraph just simply states that, look, as a notary public, it's not our jobs to understand the document fully, to go through and read it and understand it. It's a notary's job just to verify identity. So when you call a notary public, you want to make sure that you have two things. First thing is you have the document that you need to have notarized. If you're going to have that notary print that out for you, you might want to call ahead of time and make sure they have a printer there and they can provide that form to you. Most notaries, they're just, a lot of them are just mobile or working out of their house. They don't actually have an actual office. They might not have printing capabilities. The second thing you're going to need, so first is the document, the second thing you're going to need is valid ID. Now, again, I get calls all the time regarding valid ID, and they say, oh, I have a picture of my driver's license, or my driver's license expired, so I have the renewal certificate. Those aren't going to work. For a notary, by law, to notarize a form, you need to have valid ID. You need to appear in person, have the actual ID in person. It can't be a picture, can't be a photocopy or anything like that, and it needs to be valid. It can't be expired. Without the document and valid ID, it's going to be very difficult for a notary public to notarize your document. Now, having said that, there are ways around. If you don't have a valid ID and you need to get something notarized, there are ways to do it through an affidavit. Now that becomes a little more complex, but for the most part, if you have a document that needs to be notarized, you need a document and valid ID in order to do it. And again, just another thing, don't rely on the notary to be able to give you advice as far as the document itself goes. They're there to look at you, look at your ID, look at the form, have you sign where it needs to be signed. I'm the notary dude here in Los Angeles, California. If you have any questions about a notarization, an apostille, or anything like that, hit me up. If you're from a different state, it doesn't matter. Usually notarial laws are pretty consistent from state to state. I'm happy to help. Call and bug me. My number is 626-620-3667.